What if the thing you're most afraid of, losing someone, losing yourself, losing everything, was never actually possible? Stay with us, because there's a guided meditation at the end that might be the most useful 2 minutes of your week. Here's what we're actually going to look at together. There are two ideas most of us walk around quietly assuming are true. That death, in some form, has the final word on who we are, and that underneath all the connection and conversation of daily life, we are basically alone in here. Not religious questions, just the stories running quietly underneath a lot of our anxiety. And what we want to do in the next few minutes is not ask you to believe anything new, just to notice whether those stories are actually true, or whether they've been running in the background for so long you've stopped checking. Because for anyone who has ever felt profoundly alone, or quietly terrified of loss, which is most of us, if we're honest, this is worth sitting with. So let's start with someone who could be any of us. It's 2 a.m. Sarah is awake. She wasn't planning to be. Her father's health has been getting worse. Her marriage feels like two people running parallel rather than together. And somewhere between 1 and 3 in the morning her mind has started doing what most of our minds do in the dark. It's running simulations. What if he dies this year? What if the marriage ends? What if I lose the job? What if? What if? What if? Her chest is tight. Her jaw is tight. She's not really thinking anymore. She's rehearsing loss, standing at the edge of something without a railing. And the worst part isn't any specific fear. The worst part is the background hum. Everything is fragile. Everything can be taken. And I am, at the end of the day, alone in this bed with all of it. If you've been in that room, in some version of it, you already know what we're talking about. Now let's name what's happening there, because most of us never do. The specific fears change: health, money, love, relevance, but the shape underneath is remarkably consistent. It goes something like this: I am fragile, I am temporary, and I am, in some fundamental way, on my own. That's the operating system, and most of the anxiety we carry through a normal Tuesday, the low-grade tightness, the checking of phones, the bracing, is not really about the thing we think it's about. It's the operating system leaking through. Here's a metaphor to hold on to, because we're going to come back to it. Imagine you've been watching a movie, and somewhere along the way you forgot you were sitting in a theater. The scenes feel real. When the villain steps into frame, your heart actually races. Your body responds as if you are in the danger, and then someone leans over, taps you gently on the shoulder, and whispers, "Hey, you're in a seat." The screen is still there. The movie keeps playing, but you're no longer inside it. What we want to do in the next few minutes is exactly that. A tap on the shoulder. Not to argue with the movie, just to remind you where you actually are. Here's the first tap. The one that pushes on the fear of ending. We assume, without really examining it, that whatever we are is the kind of thing that can be extinguished. That there's a version of you that gets erased. Now, we're not going to make a religious argument here. We're going to do something simpler. We're going to ask, what exactly is the thing you're afraid of losing? Because if you try to locate it, not your body, not your name, not your job, but the actual awareness that's reading this and knowing it's reading this, You can't quite point to it. You can't measure it. You can't find its edges. It's the thing that has been present in every room you've ever been in. Watching the movie, so to speak. And whatever that is, the noticing itself, the awareness underneath, doesn't seem to be the kind of thing that has an off switch. We're not asking you to believe you're immortal. We're just asking you to notice that the thing at your core, the one doing all the fearing, is oddly untouched by any of the scenarios it's rehearsing. It hasn't been damaged yet by anything it has imagined. And that's worth pausing on. Here's the second tap. The one that pushes on the loneliness. Because even if the fear of ending softens a little, there's the other thing, the sense that we are separate little units bumping around, and that at 2 a.m., in the dark, we are essentially by ourselves in a way that no phone call can really fix. But watch what happens when you get quiet enough. Underneath the surface story of separateness, something in us actually knows better. It's the reason a stranger's grief can make you cry. It's the reason certain conversations feel like coming home to someone you just met. It's the reason silence, shared with the right person, is not empty. Something in us already belongs to something larger, and always has, and every now and then, when the noise dies down, we feel it. We're not asking you to believe in anything mystical, just to notice that the assumption of total aloneness doesn't actually hold up when you look for it. The evidence of connection is everywhere. We're just usually too busy defending against loss to feel it. So let's go back to Sarah at 2 a.m. Same room. Same tight chest. Same father. Same marriage. Same fears. But imagine that, just for a moment, two small recognitions become available to her. Not as beliefs she has to sign up for, as things she can actually feel. The way you feel the seat beneath you when someone taps your shoulder in the theater. First, whatever she is, at the deepest level, cannot actually be ended by any of the scenarios she's rehearsing. The awareness lying in that bed has never been damaged by anything it has ever imagined. Second, she is not as alone in this dark room as her mind is telling her. Whatever connects her to her father, to her husband, to the stranger crying 2 blocks away, it wasn't manufactured, and it can't be taken. Does the situation change? No. Her father is still sick. The marriage still needs attention. But watch what happens to the pressure. The dread doesn't have the same grip. She's still in the room, but she's not inside the movie anymore. There's a seat under her that was never in danger, and from that place, she can actually decide something. Have the conversation with her husband instead of rehearsing it. Sit with her father tomorrow without spending the whole visit bracing for the ending. Sleep. Maybe. Here's what we want to leave you with. When these two recognitions start to land, not all at once, not as a permanent state, but in flickers, the low-grade hum of existential dread that most of us carry starts to quiet. Life doesn't rearrange itself. The hard things stay hard, but the sense that everything is perpetually on the edge of falling apart loosens its grip. A mind that no longer believes it's fighting for its survival moves through an ordinary day differently. It's more available, less defended, kinder, almost by accident. Not because it has convinced itself of anything, but because it has stopped forgetting where it's sitting. So that's the invitation. not a belief system. Just a tap on the shoulder, and a slower breath. Which brings us to the next couple of minutes. If you're finding value here, you're welcome to like the video and subscribe. And now, let's shift into a quiet guided meditation together. Let's take the next couple of minutes for you. Find a way to sit or lie down that feels supported. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your jaw soften. Let your hands rest. Breathe in slowly, and out. A little longer than the in. Again. In, and out. Notice the seat beneath you. The floor. The chair, whatever is holding you right now. It was holding you before you noticed it. It doesn't need your attention to keep doing its job. Bring your awareness, just gently, to the fact that you are aware. Something in you is noticing this moment. Noticing the breath, noticing the sounds around you. That noticing has been with you all day, all week, your whole life. It has never been in danger. Rest there for a moment. Not in the thoughts. In the noticing. Breathe in. And out. Now let your attention widen. Just slightly. Feel the room around you. Feel that beyond this room, other people are breathing right now. Some of them are struggling. Some of them are laughing. Some of them are lying awake at 2 a.m. Just like Sarah. You are not as separate as the day pretends you are. Something in you already knows this. You don't have to manufacture it. Just let yourself feel it. Quietly. For a breath. In, and out. If a fear rises, let it rise. You don't have to argue with it. Just remember the seat beneath you. Remember the noticing. Remember that whatever you are, at the core, has never been touched by anything you've imagined. Breathe here. Let the pressure soften. Not because you fixed anything, because for this moment, you're not fighting for your survival. One more slow breath in. And out. When you're ready, let your eyes open. Let the room come back. Bring this quieter version of yourself with you into whatever is next. Thank you for practicing with us today. If you'd like, there's a free digital copy of A Course in Miracles available through the link in the description. You're also welcome to leave a simple comment such as, "I am grateful. Thank you for spending this time with us." Whatever brought you to this video today, whatever's been running in the background, we're glad you stayed. Be gentle with yourself in the hours ahead. The seat beneath you is still there. We'll see you next time.